She was attacked by what appears to be essentially a robot.
Decent doesn't apply to me.
Hello, sirs and madams. It's your buddy Admiral Teague. It's good to see you out there. Hello to everyone. Welcome to the show. And it's good to see Buddy out there. And we'll have more people along presently. Hello, Gavin. Hello, the Trek reviewer. And hello to Buddy. Hey, guys, tweet out that I'm live. Hit those like and follow buttons. If you're watching on the vertical stream, come on over. Come on over to the landscape stream. The landscape stream is fantastic. It's huge. It does not have any commercials while live, and then minimal commercials later. So anyway, welcome to my show. It's good to see everybody. We've got a lot of stuff going on. I guess the first thing to do is excuse me, sorry. I hate when I wear my glasses. I prefer to wear my contact lenses, but I left them in for so stupid long that I'm supposed to leave my glasses on for like a week to like clean off like my eyes. Apparently, what happened was, you get little deposits in your eyes. So excuse me, but hey, hit those like and follow buttons. If you're coming through later, I would be really grateful if you hit the like and follow buttons too. That's just kind of like how that one works. It's good to see everybody. And let's see, holy Teague, only half of your face is missing. What do you mean? Like the half that I use for the first like half of my life as I go into like the 51, like I've passed it to like 51%. I'm down to just 4 little bars of energy in life. What can I tell you guys? You know what? I'll be fine. I'll be around a while longer. It's good to see everyone. You've gone 16.9. Thank you guys. The landscape view is the place to go. You'll be happier there. So listen, in the world of my channel, this week, Star Trek, there will be a watch party, but it's not going to be for Enterprise. This week's watch party is going to be for whatever Germ picks as his favorite episode. And we're going to go through the first half of Star Trek for 2 weeks. This is what we decided. We are coming off what is probably the most news-heavy and difficult build up to the holidays that any fandom has ever faced, okay? And we would like to change that. And what I would like to see is a move towards where more of us could have maybe a lower stakes stream where, yeah, like the real world is still there, but maybe we don't get caught up dwelling on anything maybe we don't do anything too insane, by half, and maybe we just kind of see where things go as far as like, reading the room and being a little more calm about what's going on, because this has been, wow, sirs and madams, when I say it has been a dark week, do you guys, what do you think? The amount of darkness that we've had go down in the last week wow, just terrible situations in Hollywood, terrible situations all around the world, different stories, none of which we're going to get too deep in tonight because I think it's been really well covered by everyone else. Hello to the dead man. It's great to see you, my friend. Welcome to the show. I've got my Starfleet Riker-rific uniform on tonight. What can I tell you guys? When I was looking at tonight's stories, I made sure to keep a couple of things out of there because I think they're really been well covered. And I don't think there's anything to be gained from me adding any perspective to it. So I think we're going to be a little bit more careful about getting into things that are just, so shall we say, just a bit controversial for our friends who might be British. There are some controversial things going on. And although they are well covered, we don't have to talk about them. So this week, Star Trek, Jerm's going to do a watch party. We're going to be watching, I think it'll probably be Deep Space Nine if I had to guess. But he can watch whatever he wants. I do think it'll be a lot of fun. I think that afterwards, when we do our show, this week's topic is TV Star Trek. And we're going to try to spend a little time on each of the franchises. We got about 20 minutes for each show of the original continuity. And we will cover all of them. We'll do TOS, TNG. We will do Deep Space Nine. We'll do Voyager. And we'll start with Enterprise, which it makes sense for the journey our channel's taking. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I think a lot of you will enjoy it. Guys, if you're on the vertical stream, go on over to the horizontal one. The landscape view has no commercials while live. Anyway, the Star Trek this week, there will be a watch party over at Germs. He gets to pick it. It's whatever he wants. We also are going to get a Star Trek discussion with the panel, and we're going to try to discuss things like everyone's favorite episode of a given show. Like in Voyager, like I'll tip my hand right now. Like I'm not the hugest Voyager guy. I do think that there's some Voyager stuff that is only okay. I think that some Voyager does get really good though. And I think by and large the show is a lot better than people are willing to say. I think that Star Trek Voyager is a darn good show when it wants to be. And you can see the left side of Teague's face. He's good. If you can see the right side, he's evil anti-Teague. Oh. See, here's the thing. That's why I am different than Sean and JT. They're good on the left side. I'm good on the right side. And that's why this will be our last battlefield. Hey, you know what? That episode might show up. You know what? We have time to indulge in personal favorites. Here's the thing. It has been such a brutal couple of weeks with what happened to the Princess Bride guy. And we'll get into him, and I'm not going to avoid him forever. But right now, I think we've been hyper-focused on what happened. I don't think you need to think about it anymore. It's kind of reminding me of the week we lost Robin Williams as far as the unseemly nature of it. And leading up to the holidays, you know what? There's like ordinary weeks where nothing's going on, where Admiral Teague's complete insanity can be brought to focus to bring you an amusing show without having to exaggerate. Because what drives me nuts is trying to find a real news story in a time like August when we debunked that whole nonsense that, Disney was going under because there was no one in the park. We found out that, less than 2% of their money comes in whatever. I'm sorry, was it 3% total of their money comes in August? Because it's just such a rotten month in Florida. And also, people in Europe, they got to go home too, right? They're not going to spend all of the summer in Florida, especially when it's hotter there than it is in Kuwait City. Disneyland is in an inland swamp. It is really hot, sirs and madams. Teague, can you sniff a battlefield? He was a Carthaginian eunuch in a previous life. What? I was Patton in a previous life. Okay, and as Patton, I would have been with the Romans, not the Carthaginians, at least for the battle he was talking about. Because you know what? He saw his comrades, being stripped. He didn't say the women of our city. He said the Arab women stripped the soldiers of their tunics and their swords. Soldiers lie naked in the sun. I think that's a cry for Patton. You know what? We have put Patton on the map. Little known, obscure general until I really bought him up and made a big deal out of him. I'm proud of what we've done with Patton. Let's hear from him.
Carthaginians defending the city were attacked by 3 Roman legions. Arab women stripped them of their tunics and their swords and lances. The soldiers lay naked in the sun. 2,000 years ago, I was here. Well, this match will not be postponed.
I just broke something in my apartment, but I'll figure that one out later. Sirs and madams, thank you so much for being here. Hey, what can I say? It's good to see people showing up on the landscape stream. That is the place to go. Sirs and madams, the landscape stream is the place to be. Go there. Avoid the commercials. Try the veal. Anyway, this week for the Star Trek show, just to give you an idea of what we're doing, we're going to try to talk about every TV part of the show for a few hours. We have time. We could spend 20, 30 minutes per franchise each, honestly, expanding on it. We have, maybe like 20 minutes each per show, really, because with 4 of us, maybe a little less. Someone's going to be more passionate about other shows than I am. I'll let someone else do the speaking for Deep Space Nine. I like Deep Space Nine, but I haven't seen a whole hell of a lot of it. I'm a little behind on my Deep Space Nine. And you know what? Maybe Germ will talk about that one. And, Sean has just rewatched a lot of Voyager. Maybe he'll be able to speak for that one. And we want to have the most uplifting possible Saving Star Trek this week when we explore that stuff. But I guess that conversation will probably start with Enterprise. And I just heard another podcast, this guy called Dr. Trek. He's all right, I guess. When I looked at his X, he is extremely politically active of the persuasion of the New Trek people, but not as extreme, I think. I think it was maybe just like he really doesn't like Trump. What are you going to do? I would like to see if we couldn't get the people making Star Trek United on here, because we are the biggest fan community that's independent. Star Trek United now, though, very much in the world of Access Media, which as an independent Star Trek journalist breaks my heart, but as a Star Trek fan, it makes me feel great. I was an early supporter of this. Maybe if we can get enough people on board, and if you haven't joined my channel, now's the time. 3,033. Oh, so lucky. Three times. It's been a while, and I can't wait until we hit like 10,000. If we could hit 10,000 by the end of 2026, I think that we stand a good chance of being at that Star Trek premiere, and that's where the Saving Star Trek crew can meet up for the first time, and boy, wouldn't that be great. I think it's going to have to be a Christmas movie. The idea that they do this Star Trek movie next year is not completely unbelievable, but it is a little bit, I don't want to say far-fetched, but the idea that they do it next year, like how great could it be? I mean, on the one hand, it's Star Trek. There's like a total handbook for how to do this, and a lot of people know how. On the opposite hand, the hidden hand, or whatever you want to say, there is the fact that though it is Star Trek, it's being rebooted, and we don't think that it's going to have any connection to Kurtzman Trek. And I really would be banking on that staying the case, and 6 likes is great. I really appreciate that. I do not think it's going to stay Kurtzman Trek. I think the whole Kurtzman Trek thing has absolutely run its course, and he has very, very deceptively, in my opinion, made some very, very bad faith Star Trek that Paramount Plus has no choice but to buy. If you're Paramount Plus, there's no way you don't buy these terrible puppet shows and other things he's doing with Strange New Worlds. I have seen enough of Starfleet Academy to know that this is going to be rock bottom from minute one, and then the bottom will fall out, and it'll get really, really, really bad. It really will. And I am not really looking forward to seeing more than maybe the first few minutes of episode 1. If Sean is willing to watch it with me, I'll watch it with a friend, but I will not watch that alone. I cannot be left alone with that. That's like, dagger of the mind, right? It's like, can you imagine? We found Teague in a dentist chair. His mind was wiped out from watching Starfleet Academy. Imagine that. A man alone with what he hated the most. Not even a tormentor for company. I would rather go out like Inspector Luger from Barney Miller, a.k.a. I think he's the general from Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Listen to the voice, right? Put the marks of our tanks and our wheels and our guns upon it. We'll fly our flags over the Forbidden Zone. Like I think it's Inspector Luger from Barney Miller in Planet of the Apes. I don't know. I suspect. But it's good to see everyone here. Did I miss anybody? It's good to see you all, buddies, swinging the wrench. We got Gavin. We got the Trek Reviewer. If you're not here, please give me an interaction. Give me a like. Say hello. You know what? It's been such a dark and difficult week. I think it would be very important for us in a very unified way. And I think it's time for, in a time of division, let's try to be uniters, not dividers, at least in the world of Star Trek. As we end out what I think is a miserable year, could we have a better fate than, some other New Year's that have come and gone? Can we maybe leave this year behind with optimism for the next? Could we all maybe try harder to embody the season spirit? And also, how about just the spirit of Star Trek, a little bit of, I don't want to say tolerance because that word has been tarnished, but a little bit of just like common sense understanding. You don't have to, we're not going to engage with the people from New Trek. We're not going to go after them. We're not going to go after the causes that they meet shield behind, what you do on your own X is your own time. But you know what, for me, I found it's been much more positive, and I think that my community, and let's face it, 3,000 community is a word I can use. My community, and I love all of you guys, really do. It's nice to have you here. Honestly, my community doesn't want fake news from Star Trek. It doesn't want drama from Star Trek, and it doesn't want nonsense. Now, what do I mean when I say fake news from Star Trek? Well, I just so happen to have a very interesting Sirs and Madams piece of video here. Actually, it's not video. It's a piece of it's just a photograph. I decided to do this in good faith. Now listen, I think my buddy from the Tachyon Pulse that I've been talking to, I think that he is personally honorable, and I think that Tachyon Pulse guy, I think that Tachyon Pulse is going to come on here in good faith. I also have a feeling that he's winding up to say something about his methods, because we said, what are your methods? I'd like to know, how can I find out these great things? In my opinion, the best part of Strange New Worlds is the one with the character threat should not exist, and the Laan. She's written well, and she's a beautiful woman for a 40-year-old with a child. 40-year-olds can still bounce back. 40 is still pretty young. Also, here's the thing. Christina Chiang is independently famous. I don't know if she's the hugest, hottest one, but she's a fully capable European pop star who has gone out there and made herself some money. I think she had a hit or two. I don't know if it was Eurovision or something like that, but Christina Chiang, Leon Noonien Soong, is a character who shouldn't exist. But in real life, she was just like maybe probably an of-the-moment pop star in 2018, and now maybe she'll go back to it. But that's why you see her dancing with Spock, and that's why you see her able to do some of the physical stuff. I do think they ugly her up and give her a white girl cornrows, but sirs, madams, take a look at this if you would. This is Sidetrack. Sidetrack is the only place that the Tachyon Pulse goes live. Sidetrack is streaming for Fallout. They're doing Fallout Season 2 watch party, and we're going to find some things out together, sirs and madams. All right? So let me remove that. I've done a little work on this part of the screen. Look at that. Look at that, sirs and madams. Do you see that? I have marked this up. This channel with 32.7 thousand subscribers. 32.7 thousand subscribers has been live for about 30 minutes, 31 minutes. It says it right there. You can see it. And I don't see a lot of tags. If you notice on my description box, there's a lot of tags. I'm slightly tag heavy. Not to the point of where it becomes spam. I read the terms of service very carefully, and I'm like a little bit afraid of YouTube, as I've said a couple of times. So, look at that. Look at that over there. Look, that number. It's like it's not quite right. It's a little low. Like that number, 4 watching, sirs and madams. I don't know if 4 watching. There are 7 people watching now on this channel with 3,000 subscribers, and the stream has been up for a few hours. It didn't get heavily publicized, and I'm not trying to really beat up on the publicity. Sorry, tongue-tied. I'm not trying to really go nuts on the publicity for the weekday streams until at least I figure out Mars. I also think that 7 is a really good turnout for 3,000 anyway. I would like to see it closer to 2022, but when we see that, that's like closer to a weekend number. Well, I don't know. Let's see. This is Thursday, so this was Tuesday. This is 12/18. These guys did this on 12/16, if I remember correctly. Tachyon Pulse on 12/16 was watching this. I forget what time. It was 4 people. Now, the thing is, with 32,000 people, that's a baseball crowd. I got 3,000 people. We are a minor league baseball team or, hockey team. And I love that you guys show up here and we punch above our weight. As you can see, this channel with 32,000 people, so literally 10 times what I have, because I have 3,030, right? So literally 10 times what I have. They only have 4 people watching a half an hour in. Now, I might drop to that, and I might spike to 12 or 14. It can happen. This is also a huge holiday week. We have not been expecting like the most kaboom boomy December as far as that stuff goes. Nerdrotic leaped into Admiral Teague for a second. Did he? Well, what do you mean? Oh, you know what? I'm not going to lie to you. I had those same glasses that he has. He wears Wayfarer sunglasses with the lenses poked out, made into glasses. This is something that a lot of people have been doing for a long time. Wayfarer sunglasses are made to last forever by Ray-Ban, right? And they're sport glasses. They're really, really, really sturdy. They last for years and years. You can beat the shit out of them. And also, like when you wear glasses and you wear the headphones, like the glasses, the cans crush the headphone, the glasses arms, and like it can break them. So you got to be a little careful with it. And I like to wear my contact lenses when I'm on stream, but like I said, I wore them for too long, and I was advised not to put them in for a couple of weeks unless I really had to. So I've mostly not been wearing them. And it's so weird. I have these progressive lenses, and I have to remember how to wear them. And, I had my Wayfarer glasses. These are, you would think, oh, yeah, Admiral Teague's got, what are these again? I forget what these are. Versace glasses, right? Like, oh, you have Versace glasses. Like, you must be wealthy. It's like, Versace on eyewear is like, these were like one of the cheaper brands. Also, is it possible my friend Arturo had false stuff? I mean, I didn't, it looked real enough, but I don't fucking care. They held up really well, and the lenses work well. But these are a little more European than what Nerdrotic wears. These are Versace, and I do need another pair of regular glasses. I changed my Wayfarers back into sunglasses, because those lenses are really freaking awesome. And I love my Wayfarers. So I changed those back to sunglasses. And, I'm wearing them more often. And it'll be a while before I can afford a $200 pair of freaking sunglasses or a $200 anything again. This has been the most weird and crazy December if you're Admiral Teague. But Star Trek this week. We're going to do Enterprise, but we're going to have 5 other Star Trek shows on there as well. It's going to be about TV Star Trek. And also, we're going to go 3 weeks before we really circle back to Enterprise. And then, who knows, it may help us out as far as lining up some shows with the original series. It could work out. We just don't know. We will be going faster than them, but at some point, I think maybe we might run out of Star Trek before they start, which will be weird because I think those episodes will surge again. So I don't know. I don't know if an overlay in the actual week where they broadcast will make them bigger. I do think what's going to happen is once we go back to it, we will do a This Week in Star Trek where we will probably release our grades again and probably release the upload the week of, and we'll revisit the episode at the beginning of that next episode. We had some wild shows the last few weeks as we've had the show beginning with Germ and I, then JT coming in and Germ and Sean maybe having no overlap sometimes, Germ leaving and a few minutes later Sean coming in, and the show's gone on an hour longer because people are getting there later. We'll probably be back to 10 to 1 this week, but a lot of great times, a lot of great Star Trek, and we've been able to cover stuff. We've covered the episodes, gotten grades from everyone. Then we've been able to double back and sort of talk about the Star Trek news and events. We talked about Academy. We looked about the art. We looked at the art. We didn't like any of it, and we weren't big on it. The other big Paramount Plus show that we love is Landman. We'll get into that in a moment. But Fallout's back. I just unlisted my Fallout show. Why? Because it was mostly a watch party and the analytic was only so good. There is a good rewatchable review in there, but I would have to go back and go to the end of it and remove it and upload a live reaction. It might be easier to rewatch it and upload a reaction now. I don't know. I think the new Fallout season dropped. I'm not going to play the Fallout game too much, although I have it. I could be up to speed on Fallout very easily, so I probably will still watch it. It'll become a feature of, it'll be reoccurring, like, catch-up. I don't think we'll be doing a whole bunch of it on the Star Trek show, but I do think that when we do these shows, I probably will be more caught up on Fallout by next week. I did see it spiking up. So Fallout, about to be caught up on. I guess I have to rewatch the first season. Do I have to? It was only okay. Remember, the bar is slowly rising. Last year, Fallout was considered really pretty good. This year, we got a few shows that were only a little bit better than Fallout, and they got trashed kind of in a couple of ways. And while we didn't have a Robin Hood this year, and Rob Yin with the Y, Hood, I like to put the weird double L on the Hood for fun. I like to mispronounce words. What can I tell you? But we didn't have a Robin Hood this year, but we've had some shows worse than that. But look at the Tachyon Pulse. Now we're gonna find. Look at Trek. Now we're gonna find out together. This is a half hour into their show. Sirs and madams, I ask you to use your powers of detection. Okay? I also ask you to use your powers of observation. I ask you to use your powers of intelligence. And we're going to go back and we're going to find that live stream and we're going to see what kind of number it did. All right. You know what? I'm detecting some real honesty here, and it's a relief. Let me take this down, and I will. Whoa, that is one great Yankee hat. Look at that Yankee hat. That is one fantastic Yankee hat. Let me get back over there in the corner where I belong. That's better. That's better now. John, what's going on? You're on the vertical stream. Do me a favor. Join me on the landscape stream. It helps me out. It's really much more important to feed that analytic. The vertical stream, I unlist it later, and you're going to get a commercial. So the landscape stream is better. There aren't many commercials on the vertical stream, but there are, because that's what our YouTube platform masters have wanted. So they have 4 watching, 31 minutes in with 3 likes. So now their watch party is still up. They have a good thumbnail. I'll give them that. Wow. Okay, sirs and madams, I'm going to show you something. Let me show you something, okay? Take a look at this. Sirs, madams, sirs. Let me see if I can get this as big as possible. As you can see, with 32,000 subscribers, they have 7 thumbs up and 108 views. These are Admiral Teagian numbers, okay? These are Admiral Teagian numbers. So if, and by the way, Tachyon Pulse wasn't part of this one, okay? So if Tachyon Pulse, when he's on, they do a lot better, I still have research to do on that one. Let's take a look at their thumbs, shall we? Okay. The Tachyon Pulse thumbs are, shall we say, good. They are well-constructed thumbnails. I'll give them that. They do make good thumbnails. They are kind of breaking a couple of YouTube rules, but not huge ones. Tachyon Pulse, at least, his thing is he says, look at me, I go ahead and I use the same thumbnail every time because YouTube seems to think it works. And he seems to have had some performance issues when he didn't use it. So let's go back a few streams. We're on their live tab. So going back, let's give them the maximum benefit. Fallout Bakersfield and Bethesda remasters the Radical Wasteland podcast, 48 minutes long, 269 views. How fantastic is it? Fantastic 4 movie. This looks to be the review. 288 views. Yeah, it tracks at the time frame. 288 views, 32,000. My Fantastic Four is in the same neighborhood. I haven't looked at it recently, but it's close. Strange New Worlds, What's Happening to Star Trek, 1,000 views 4 months ago. That, at 32,000 subscribers, 1,000 views, that's tracking with my best. And I'm at 3,030. Each Stargate Universe character's best scenes, 2 hours long. 235 views 4 months ago. That is got 235 views. I mean, okay, this one's 2 hours. Mid-season check-in, Strange New Worlds, Joshua M. Patton, Sci-Fi Sundays. I don't know who Joshua is. 4 months ago, that has 500 views, about 459 to be exact. That is, still like really. And by the way, I wore the right jacket, right? Hey, Tachyon Pulse, I have an Adidas jacket too. What's up, my man? We'll talk about how like this live streaming stuff is going for the people over at Sidetrack. I don't know what to tell you, sirs and madams. So 288 at an hour 19, 1,000 at 1 hour 43, 235 views, 459 views. 284 views. These are all about an hour and a half to 2 hours. 422 views, 208 views, 196 views, 218 views, all in there. Let me see if there's any outliers. No need to read all of them. 158 a month ago, getting lower. 1,000 on Stargate Hard Reboot. Is a Stargate Hard Reboot the only option? We've since found out that's a sequel, right? It's going to be a sequel to itself, but they're not going to talk about the old show. Probably the best route to go because it leaves the door open to bring characters back with a little licensing and a little bit of paying out to the old writers. And that's what I mean by licensing. You own Stargate. You just might not own everything in Stargate. Everything Fallout, 168 views. So it's 190, 168, 1,000. 158, 241, 165, 239, 142. They're all in that area. They had a vertical stream only do 109 views. That's an outlier low. That is outlier low. 195 views a month ago. Now they have 2 of each stream. The vertical streams do less than the landscape streams, which is something I hope to have. But their vertical streams do outlier low. I unlist these because who really wants to watch it vertically after the fact? Yeah, I'm sorry about that one. Do you think you can do me a favor and get over to the landscape view and help me out? Help a brother out. Teags trying to spare you the ads too. So let's see. As we get closer, the last 8. 121 at 58 minutes. 218 at 1 hour 19 minutes. 154, 128, both those are an hour 19. 108, that's an hour 19. 425 at 238, that's just length. That's their concurrent viewership's about the same. 238, and they have one upcoming for 1:45 p.m. tomorrow. Maybe check that one, a day after tomorrow. Maybe check that one out. But Why are they doing Admiral Teague in numbers? I will be asking Tachyon Pulse about this when he comes on the show. This channel, as I pointed out, their channel has 32,000 subs. Okay, 32,000 subscribers. There are 4 people watching. Was there a fight with another creator? Was there some kind of falling out with someone who used to be bigger on your channel? Was there a scandalous prediction that went wrong? Why is Sidetrack down to 32,000 subscribers and 237 views on a stream yesterday that was over 2.5 hours long? Not by a lot, but I'm not trying to trash them. I'm saying I've got questions. All right. There's 3,000 of us. Okay. There's 6 people watching now across 2 different kinds of YouTube. If I had gone further to Rumble and other places, maybe more. We've spiked up to 9. We haven't dropped below 5 or 6. It could happen. I appreciate every one of you. Please hit that like. And I appreciate everyone over on Mars. If you're over on the vertical stream, you're going to get hit with some ads. Come over to the landscape. You'll like it better. Like I said, why exactly is this going on? We have the Tachyon Pulse coming to the show. He is going to explain this to us. And I guess this is one of the questions I'm going to ask him. Now, he's not there, so he doesn't have to really have that much to worry about as far as justifying this screenshot. But I'm going to be watching, and I'm going to be continuing to screenshot them. I don't know where they're located, if it was prime time by them. If they're on at 1:45 tomorrow, that's 6:45 in England, I think. I believe right now it's a 5-hour time difference. I'm not sure. I'm not a pilot, Sorry, guys. Just a little bit of quick stuff to do there. Had to mute for a second, but it is great to have everyone here. I'm going to turn on my avatar just so I can see it pulsing. You see that pulsation going on outside my avatar? That helps me know better than anything else that I'm live. It's easier to do than some of the other graphs we have. Let me just do it again. Guys, interact. Chat with me here. Sirs, madams, I'm very interested in your thoughts on this stuff. This channel, why are they doing numbers similar to mine? Why are we above them? We are now at 37 minutes. They're at 31. I have double the people. Admiral Teague punches 10 times above his weight. They have 32,000 subs. By the way, we have a Christmas stream coming up. I don't know who will be on it or what. I'm thinking low key. I'm thinking that members will have access. If you're not doing anything on Christmas in America, you can come on the show. You can hang out. You can say hi to people. You know what? I think it's going to be a low key stream. I think it gets unlisted later. I don't expect a lot of people to be around. I'm not going to step on any of the toes of the big guys, but I want to be on, and I might go to the Stark party later. So we'll see what's going on with Christmas Day. Christmas Eve, I got some stuff that I'm going to do. Maybe I'll be on earlier in the day, but I don't think so. Later at night, while a possibility, it seems like a holiday weekend where everyone's going to be out. They have weak, lame-ass fans. Teags fans are the greatest. That's, you know what? Their fans are weak for not showing up. I'm calling them out. And also, they only progressed to 7 likes. That stream topped out at 128 views. That watch party went to 128 views. Sirs and madams, here it is. Let me show it to you. There it is. Sirs and madams, there is the other, there it is. And as you can see, they only got to 128 views on that particular watch party. Let me see. See it there? Can you see it? I can see it. I can see it, man. It's going to suck to have the first year ever without Ozzy. Yeah, you know what? Maybe sub them for a while if you want. You're allowed to give them a try, by the way. Like, there's nothing wrong with giving them a try and judging for yourself. But I have questions. The thing is, the Tachyon Pulse guy he was personable. He was not overly evasive, except to kick it past the holidays. Everyone did that. Neural Derp, okay? Neural AI, Neural Derp. They are coming on. Neural Derp made Hillbilly Star Trek. They made Dukes of Hazzard Star Trek, I believe. They're making Pirate TNG, I believe, is the next one. Now, all of these went viral and got millions of views. You saw them on X. You saw them here. They will come on, and you will see them for the first time, at least in a live stream that I know of on my channel. I know them through their uploads. Their uploads are great. Hey! Check your follows, my friend. Check your follows. It's good to see you. Hell, Dadman Walking 55. Dadman Walking is a powerful YouTuber. He's a great guy. We have a co-host in common, Wes Cagle. Wes Cagle's a great guy. We haven't seen him around in a week or two. Wishing him a Merry Christmas. He's probably out holidaying around. We hope Wes Cagle's doing all right. We love you, buddy, and we love Dadman. Dadman is great. Teags is great. We are great. That is right. This channel is the ultimate achievement in Star Trek fandom. I want to congratulate the Star Trek fans here. First thing I'm going to say is this. I want to thank the Star Trek fans for giving Landman a shot and watching it with me so that you could become fans of something really fantastic that, though not like Star Trek, captures the spirit of adventurous and enjoyable television that we love so much. They're not going to space and fighting aliens, but Landman does have some things in common, like friendship, loyalty, and sacrifice getting tested. So the elements of all true good stories. It's like the great stories, Mr. Frodo. It's like the elements of all truly great stories have friendship, loyalty, and sacrifice. I'm looking right now at the Tachyon Pulse broadcast. I'm becoming view 129. They are topped out at 128 views on that one. And, I'm sorry, guys. You're going to have to do better than that to explain why you're getting, Well, the Tachyon Pulse has his own channel, but he has never gone live. So it leaves you to ask the question, how can one man, like an island, and Tachyon Pulse is on X, and this is something I'm going to ask you guys when we get into it, and we will, I would ask you guys to be respectful. I know you will be. You don't need to blow up the chat. Blow it up now, by the way. Please, kaboom, boom the chat. Put in some emojis. Spam it a little bit. Please, wake it up a little bit. Show YouTube there's an active conversation going on here. It helps, and it helps to have all you hear. We do punch above our weight. I mean, this channel has 32,000. This other channel has 32,000, and we're kicking that ass right now. They can't touch this channel with the engagement they got. And have you noticed, when I don't have my glasses on, I'm like Steve Smith from American Dad. It's like I have to squint so much that my eyes look like incredibly small. When I have my contacts on, or I don't need to actually see, I can have normal size eyes. But sirs, madams, there's two things I want everyone to do. I want you to tweet out at Paramount Plus. Fans want hashtag Star Trek Enterprise. I want you to do that. At Paramount Plus, fans want hashtag Star Trek United. Star Trek United has gone beyond my reach. I'm not going to get Sussman on here unless we get to 10,000 by the end of the year and the show is, not quite done yet. The movie is supposed to come out this year. It's supposed to come out next year in 2026. So within the next 12 months or more or less likely, it has to, right? 12 months from now, we'll be at the end of December. So it's going to come out in the next 12 calendar months, maybe, only days left in this year for it to really get out before, we're within a year of the movie. That's what they're telling us. Now, if it hadn't been done before, I'd say you couldn't do it. But they can take so many lessons from so many different Star Trek and just not be so weird and dodgy as the Kurtzman Trek was. Do you like that, Gavin? I'm speaking British now, too, a little bit. I'm learning English. And British is a sub-dialect of that. you know what? They're being weird and dodgy on the Kurtzman Trek, and all over on the regular Star Trek, continuity. It's on hold. It's been on hold since 2005. Now, when I saw the latest with Dr. Trek, which is a Audible, no, maybe it's Audible. I forget. Spotify. It's a Spotify fucking podcast. It's all right. Guy's okay. Nothing great, but because it's podcast, so it's very much like radio, and it doesn't have the really great live interaction that you guys and I get to have now. So use that. Use your voice. And everybody's lighting up the chat. All right. Let's go back to you're welcome, sir. West is awesome. We were lucky to share a co-host. He'll be back soon, I hope, sirs and madams. And it's good to see everyone. Gavin's here. Dadman mixing up with the chat. We got a bunch of comments. That'll wake it up. Dodgy gits. I know what that means. You know what? This was my dad's second favorite baseball team. I turned him back into a Yankee fan. He was born a Yankee fan. He became a fan of the Brooklyn Dodgers. Said he was tired of winning. Said it got boring. You know what? We showed him how much fun winning could be with that evil empire, and he loved that team. But this is the Brooklyn Dodgers. Now, in case you're wondering what it means, Brooklyn had a lot of surface transportation of what like they call light rail. Light rail once used to be referred to as trolleys. There are horse-drawn ones that you see kind of in Gangs of New York, has something like that. I think that theirs is a cab, but there's a lot of them on tracks too. And when electricity came in, they had like an arm, an aperture on top that would touch a wire, and they would shoot down the city streets. And there was like a tram, there was a trolley on all the streets in all the boroughs of Queens and Brooklyn, showing all, getting people around. The thing is, they were killing like 30 people a week in the city of New York. It wasn't even news. There were so many people and so many like trolleys that were dangerous as shit. A lot of them like rounded a corner really crazy and fast. There's a reason there's only one of them left in San Francisco. It's like mostly ceremonial. Our kooky governor, whose other bad ideas I don't want to fucking talk about because it's just like been a dark week, she wants to bring back light rail in the city. Are you crazy? You need to be really careful planning that. Light rail was running right down the middle of the streets. So, like, if that's what they're going to do with those kind of trolleys, thanks, but no thanks on that one. Thanks, but no thanks. No sleep till Brooklyn. And good night, John. No sleep. No sleep till. Our manager is crazy. He always smokes dust. He has his own room on the back of the bus. All right, it's good to see you. Thank you. Please hit that like, and thanks for coming over to the landscape stream. I really, really appreciate it. It's called a trolley like in old Coney Island, Brooklyn. Brooklyn had more of them than anywhere else. This was why they're called the Dodgers. People used to have to jump out of the way of the trolleys because they were so dangerous and people were getting killed. So the team's name was shortened down from Brooklyn Trolley Dodgers. Okay, so the Brooklyn team, the Trolley Dodgers, that's where the name comes from. Is it well thought out or is it dangerous? Sleep well, John the Beagle Dad. And sirs, madams, welcome to the show. Come over to the landscape stream. We've got a great show for you tonight where we are covering several things. First of all, last word on this one. They are not doing what their channel should be doing on the Tachyon Pulse. I mean, look at these Tachyon Pulse numbers. They are really, really weak for 32,000 people. Now, I'm not going to accuse them of anything nefarious. I think these are real YouTube accounts, but they don't seem very engaged. I'll ask again, was there a fight? Did you have a story blow back on you? Was there some sort of complication? Was there a long gap between uploads? What happened that you lost these subscribers? Or what are your views like? Why are you doing Admiral Teagian numbers with 32,000? right? RTNZ is here. I can't stand it. I know you planned it. I'm going to set straight this Watergate. Can't stand Rocket Man. I'm here because, this crystal ball ain't so crystal clear. You know what? I love the Beastie Boys. I love being from Queens. They wear a Mets hat. That's like, we got to get every New York baseball team in here. The only one we haven't mentioned is the New York Dodgers, the one that like everyone forgets started here. New York Dodgers and the Brooklyn Dodgers were like original like teams. The Dodgers may have come over from another league, or they start when the National League starts, with the 1880 something for the Dodgers. But I don't like what they did to that song in Star Trek, but I love the Beastie Boys, and I love that song despite what they did to it. The only reason I know what "git" means, says the dead man, is because of the Beatles. I heard Sir Walter Raleigh was such a stupid git. I heard it from the guys in The Clash. Joe Strummer says his daughters called him a git. So that's why I know that term. And I like The Clash, just so you know. I also really like Black Sabbath, but I think you've seen enough Black Sabbath t-shirts to be absolutely sure of that. The Giants leave after the Dodgers. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The Giants leave first. But I don't think it's more than a 2-season difference. The Dodgers are in L.A. in the 50s. I think 58's their first year. No, the Giants leave first. Yeah, in 57 or 56, because Bobby Thompson's home run. Here's a good story for you. I was an intern in college, and the guy that I did the internship was in the Baseball Hall of Fame. He was the guy who called Bobby Thompson's home run. He was really a good guy. Cool newscaster. His name was Bob Wolf. He was really good. Good guy. Bobby Thompson's brother was a New York City fireman, and my dad knew him. He was captain. My dad was a New York City detective. They have to coordinate. Sometimes they talk to each other. And my father told me, he said, my conversation with Bobby Thompson's brother went like this. I think that, and he was like, that guy was like a fire captain, right? So he's like, I have commanded, this group of firemen for X amount of time. We've put out like dozens and dozens of structure fires. We've saved hundreds and hundreds of people. We've saved like many hundreds of buildings from being burned up and collateral damage. And you know what? Nobody knows who I am or my guys are. My brother hits one fucking home run and he can't like buy a drink in this town. Like, do people realize he's already rich? So Bobby Thompson's brother, a real hero. Bobby Thompson, a baseball hero. And Bob Wolf, one of the only non-baseball players in the Baseball Hall of Fame, in there as a broadcaster. And everyone's greeting RRTNZ, our buddy. It's great to see you, sir. We're talking about the Tachyon Pulse and and Sidetrack, their parent channel, or what would you call, I guess now, a sister channel, because the Tachyon Pulse is the one who gets all the views, and they obviously this is not the amount of live concurrence, as you can see. 4, one of them's me. Okay, one of them's me. So 3. There are 2 panelists. So that's 2 views. When you see a show with 12 panelists and 12 viewers, 12 people in the chat, well, and the chat's not moving, it's because your chat is your panel. Look who it is. Sir, JT, I was very sorry to hear about your kitty. I hope that, you find some solace in the love of the Star Trek community. And, it's in a farm upstate. We just can't go visit it. I'm sorry, buddy. I really am. It's a big deal. I don't have pets because, one, I'm afraid to have like pet hair everywhere. Cats, they're good at keeping themselves clean. Dogs, more my speed. I would get maybe a dog, but could you imagine me, like with a dog trying to stream, and the dog be jumping up on my lap and like getting in my face and looking at my. Dogs are great. Like, don't get me wrong, I love dogs. When I had a dog, it would respond to like all sorts of verbal commands. You're welcome, buddy. I didn't know, it's tough. Our furry friends, they're like, let's face it, the one thing you don't want to do is say this. This one, I heard this one at the wrong time. There's one thing you don't want to say. You don't want to say this one. Now, you say whatever you want. Radioactive's here. Hey, there are 4 lights. All right, listen. This is a forgivable thing to say, but I would love to see more humanity and compassion. Thank you for the $1.99. The Dead Man is a great guy. Sub his channel. Check him out. Support him on his journey to grow. You know what? The Tachyon Pulse does not have as many people watching live a half an hour in as we do here. What? I'm sorry. This is a sidetrack. I'm not. No shade on the Tachyon Pulse. Also, I will say again, all these people seem personally honorable. I want to know, was there a fight? Was there a blown prediction? Was there a strike? Did you get deprioritized by YouTube somehow? What happened to go from 32,000 viewers, 32,000 subs, and only 128 viewers? I managed to turn my head before I belched because I care about you guys so much. You know what, though? Pardon me. I hope you didn't hear it. But you know what? I don't know that there's any explanation for it, but a fight, some sort of blown prediction, or something like that. But I want to thank you guys for being like 10 times as loyal. No, I guess it would be 5 times as loyal because they have half as many, but 10 times as many people. Radioactive, you understand the maths, as the Euros call it. Would that be 5 times more loyalty? I believe that this channel has punches above its weight because we have a mission, because we stand for something, because we're going to stand up to Paramount and say to them, sir, oh my gosh, hey, did I see the Star Trek funeral on Film Thread? I couldn't bring myself to watch it. There are times when my personal amusement is not as important as being the person who's the voice of this channel and a leader for all Star Trek fans and a leader for all Landman and Paramount fans. Why? Why do I not watch the Film Thread thing? I will. But right now, I have a show to do and I require a certain amount of optimism. If I could have made a video for Film Thread, it would have gone like this. Hi, this is Admiral Teague from Saving Star Trek. You know what? This funeral is well deserved. And of all the franchises I've seen go downhill like this, none of them has ended up being as terrible as what we got from Alex Kurtzman. So I'm glad that we have dropped the hammer, so to speak, with our Type 0 phasers on this terrible and outdated form of Star Trek that it was the so-called modern audience version. 8 years later, 16 years after Star Trek into Star Trek 09, where's your audience? Where's your modern audience? Where are they now? Where are they? They never showed up. It has been 15 years. Your modern audience never showed up. They walked out of your second film in the middle, and they never showed up for your third movie, even though it was tracking so much better than the one before it, even though it wasn't good. It was so much better than the one before that it gave you hope for the next one. Film Threat should have had me on. I would love to be on Film Threat, and thank you, Radioactive, for the back-to-back $2 super chats. You are extremely generous, sirs and madams, and so is my good friend, the Dead Man. You guys are being really great tonight, and thank you so much. You're warming my heart as we roll towards Christmas. I have put a lot of shows on hold and skipped a few because this has been my number 1 month dealing with a lot of incoming comms traffic that was, let's just say, not too friendly to Admiral Teague. For a while there's been an ongoing problem. I've kept it off X. I don't talk about it anymore. We don't care about it. I'll just say for a couple of minutes, it does suck up about 4 hours a week dealing with some of these problems, this incoming harassment and other things that you have to deal with. You know what? I'm not complaining about how it goes. I wanted to play baseball. People are going to throw inside, okay? I wanted to play baseball. Okay, no one else said, "Oh, sir, you must go play baseball for the good of all Star Trek fans." I said, "I'm going to take the Star Trek fandom on my back, and I'm going to go play fucking baseball. If you're going to play baseball, you're going to get hit by a few pitches, all right? I signed up for that. Now, will I lay down the perfect bunt and when the pitcher comes to cover, check his ass real fucking hard and maybe get ejected from the game fighting at first base? You know what? It's a long season. I can get thrown out of one game if they throw at me, coach. I got to show them that I'm a fucking madman so they don't do it again, all right?" And then any manager would back that one and find me anyway. What do you think, JT? It's good to see you. And I want to thank you. And you know what? They came in fast and furious. So let's give the Dead Man just a minute more here. The Dead Man actually makes content. And let me finish by saying, of all the franchise, Mr. Gore, Mr. Ang, I love your show. I watch it a lot. You're deeply inspirational to me. And I saw some physical copies of Film Threat because I'm old enough to have seen them. JT, sir. Oh, sir. Your parents were dating, and there may have been a copy of Film Threat in the car when they drove to see Commando. When they drove to see Commando, sir. When your father and your mother went to see Commando, there was possibly a copy of Film Threat in the back seat because, gosh darn it, he's from Detroit. Or Michigan. Maybe I don't think he's from the Upper Peninsula. I think he's from Detroit. And he said something that everyone should know. This is a good tip, by the way. Chris Gore gives good life information, salted in with his great takes. The thing to know about Film Threat is this. They grade all movies a little bit high because they respect you if you made a movie and you don't even if you don't have technical problems that anger them, they respect your movie more. And I was really pleased to see Chris Gore moving in to say hi to Tom Connors and offer him help. Because Tom Connors and, RRTN said, I'll read this in a moment, Tom Connors, our pal, got demonetized for something going on with another channel. I would hope that YouTube does something about it. I scolded Team YouTube very harshly from one of my alts. I'm not going after them. I am afraid of them, and I don't have any clout. Okay, I have no clout, and I'm not chasing it. This channel doesn't chase virility. This channel chases sustainability. Lord of the Rings is a Christmas film. The Fellowship of the Ring departs Rivendell on 25th December. I thought it was the Battle on Weathertop is October 22nd, right? On 25th December. Plenty of other Christian themes in there as well. God bless us, everyone. God bless you all. You know what? I am the same abstraction as Tolkien and the lyricist for Black Sabbath. I do not only like them because they are Catholic. I will say that being Catholic gave me insight. For years and years and years, I simply assumed that all the guys in Black Sabbath were Anglican because all the guys from Black Sabbath are from Birmingham, England. Is that Welsh? Is that a Welsh part of town? So I figured that all the guys from Black Sabbath, first of all, I had to learn to speak English to understand them. And if you ever listen to Sean, I mean, I'm gonna miss that. I'm always gonna end every show with Ozzy's I Love You All for here on in memoriam of the greatest metal frontman of all time and one of rock and roll's very greatest. Sir, wow, you guys are being really generous today. Let me do RRTNZ's chat justice, and then I'll do yours a good justice. The Dead Man with $4.99 more. Guys, The Lord of the Rings is a Christmas movie filled with Christian themes. You know what you might want to watch, and we give you a good insight. One of the first interactions I ever had was I talked to the director on X. The movie did so poorly. I saw it in theaters. I thought it would do a lot better. One of its main strengths is it wasn't connected to the style or filmmaking of Peter Jackson or the Lord of the Rings movies at all. I really enjoyed the movie Tolkien. And Chief O'Brien is in it. So if you're from my channel, you'll love it. Chief O'Brien is in it. Tolkien, born in South Africa, orphaned young. I was adopted out of an orphanage, so I feel his pain on that one. He ends up spending time in South Africa where they have, I heard most of the world's poisonous or venomous spiders. Here's the thing. I don't know how they quantified that. Most by population, I would think there's plenty of venomous spiders in Florida and South America. So I think it has to mean most by variety, the most variety, like the most different species of spider. And, they believe, because they found one caught in amber from like the Jurassic era, that the spider is perfect and has stopped evolving. Isn't that something? It's a perfect spider. That's been something I read a long time ago. I mean, I read it a long time ago. Spiders may have evolved since then. I've heard they stopped wearing silk. We're to rayon now. There's sustainable fibers. The cost of silk just too high. But you know what? The Christian themes in Lord of the Rings, they're really there. The Christian themes in my other mainstay, Black Sabbath, which I love so much. I didn't know that the songwriter from Black Sabbath had been Catholic all his life and was the only one of them who wasn't. He doesn't write the riffs. He arranges the riffs. He writes the lyrics. Without their bass player, they are so lost. Without Geezer Butler, they are kind of lost. When the other two guys are in the band, they can do fine, even without the drummer, although the drummer helps. I have decided that Mob Rules is a catchier album than Heaven and Hell, but I think I like Heaven and Hell better now after all these years. There are more catchy, impactful songs on Mob Rules. Mob Rules has this weird crackly guitar sound going on, and Iommi's really working on some stuff. So I thank you so much for the super chat about the Christian themes. For me, they revolve around Catholicism, but I'm not dogmatic and I don't judge people, and I'm very inclusive. And did you know that the Intolerable Acts, which started the United States, one of them was Catholic inclusion in Quebec, as they say there. You know what? I didn't know that. They don't tell you that in school in America. They tell you that the Intolerable Acts were like the tax on tea. That was just one of like 5 of them. The other one was tolerance. I find that to be very sad, sirs and madams. At any rate, get over to the landscape view, guys. Don't get hit with the commercials. Go to the landscape view where there are none, and enjoy yourself. Get the full effect. And let me catch up on your chats here as we talk about Star Trek a little more. This week, everyone's favorite from television. JT, I'm hoping for every panel member to have one show that they really champion, which means there might be a few left out. The thing is, Enterprise is off the table, right? And TOS is off the table. So there's 4 shows for pundits. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But we'll see. What I'm thinking is this. I think that we're going to talk about TV Star Trek and all of it, but it'll probably start with Enterprise. And then maybe like chronologically, we'll go through all the TV Star Trek. Then next week, the plan is movie Star Trek and to talk about all the movie Star Trek that we love. And it by no means be comprehensive because we're not going to do an 11-hour stream on Saturday. We'd like to sometimes because you guys are so pleasant and we love being with you. And also because with my compadres from Saving Star Trek, the Star Trek conversations get so deep and so exciting. It combines 2 of the things that I love the most in my life, Star Trek and live performances, because I used to be in a punk band and I love playing the guitar. And, you can hear me play a little guitar on the channel if you go look for my cover of Can't Back Down when I made 500 subs. I think it was 500 subs. Or was it 1,000? I don't know. I did 2 songs. I'm probably well overdue for another one. 3,000. Wow. Teague 3,000. Triple T. Yo, mama is so deep and exciting. It's right. Some spiders are Mexican. You know what? Yes, there are some spiders in Mexico. Although, you know what? I think a wall would keep them out. I think landmines in front of the wall and possibly electric current running through some form of barbed wire on top of the wall. And also, I mean, this is something I've wanted for a long time. They talk about the seawall. Admiral Teague has a plan to protect the United States from avian flu. And guys, if you're over on the vertical stream, jump over the landscape one. It's we got cookies. Here's the thing. I think that the best way to protect our nation from avian flu is what I call Admiral Teague's wall. Other people call it Admiral Teague's suggestion. It's not really a suggestion. I think that we need to do it. This is my thought. Admiral Teague's, wall would be surrounding the entire shoreline of our country with 50 calibers and having them continuously firing up in the air. Now, these are belt-fed weapons. If they're continuously firing up in the air around the entire coast of the United States and across our entire northern and southern border, no birds with bird flu will be able to fly into our country and contaminate us. This is the way we want it. So, guys, over on the landscape stream, over on the vertical stream, I'm dropping a link in there for you, for the ad-free landscape stream. Okay, you can just go right to it. I'm going to drop it in the chat over there now. It is now in the chat. You guys can grab that one to come on over to the landscape stream. We like you. We think you're great. I'm going to pin that to the top of the to the vertical. The vertical, it's great. I control the horizontal. I control the vertical. Remember that one? Remember that show? But you know what I do? And, what can I say? But JT, I'm wearing the hat of the most successful team in baseball. Although most of the time, walking around New York, as JT knows, I have a Detroit hat that I wear because, people are more afraid of you if they think you're from Detroit. And also, if it gets kind of fucked up, I've had it for 10 years. It's in great shape. I keep it, sealed when I'm not wearing it. I have, a little, Tupperware box for it, right? But so it doesn't get dusty, right? So I wear that one out, and if it gets rained on or something, it's not my Yankee hat. I love my Yankee hats. I have 5 of them. What can I tell you? But I usually wear a Jet hat. I hope you guys aren't let down that's the Yankee hat. I know that in season, people prefer the Jet hat, but I feel like a winner. I'm feeling like a winner today, and also I feel like there's enough negativity. So why should I have to look at the Jets logo? We haven't talked about the tragedy of the week. We're not going to. It's too dark. It's too well covered. We're not going to talk about it. But Teagues Wall, let's do it. You met Nicholas Hoult around the time Tolkien was being made. He was great in that. He was very excited about playing the great author. His depiction of J.R.R. Tolkien was fantastic. Dome Karuski's screenplay works really well. They cut one scene from the movie that I think would have helped. There was a scene, I saw it in the outtakes. There's a scene, now, Cole Meany, who is the ancestor of a person, a historical figure known as Chief O'Brien, who will come to be known in the 24th century. Cole Meany, an ancestor of Chief O'Brien. That actor plays a pivotal person in Tolkien's life. And the scene they cut was Chief O'Brien dressing up to be his ancestor to meet Tolkien and getting into the Hollow Suite at Quark's. And it was a quick conversation between Quark and Chief O'Brien. And I think it could have saved the Tolkien movie, which failed so badly that my one lone tweet went out there. You know what else is fucking great? There was sometimes people tweet just to generate an article, and I don't know if I was early on this one or it flopped that badly. I think I waited a day to respond. There was an article about Jonathan. You know what? You look how his other stuff did. Jonathan Kasdan, the son of Lawrence Kasdan, the Willow guy, talking about how the Solo movie, was really underrated and would be better, and how this, that, and the other thing. And there was a tweet at the center of the article that you could punch through to. When I got there, it was it had no likes. So I said, this movie fucking sucked. I left there taller, cooler, stronger, smarter, and more of a ladies' man than my fucking childhood hero, who was supposed to be an aspirational figure. Now he's a loser who gets cocked by some fucking chick from Game of Thrones who's just she's not even dressed hot. They dress her in a set of drapes. You can't see her body at all. There's nothing about her figure. There's nothing appealing for a man to watch that movie. There's no appealing nature to the movie at all. It's boring. It's the Solo movie is boring. Watch. You know what? You want to watch a movie? Go see the movie Tolkien. Tolkien's a good movie. It's kind of true to character, the great author. You know what? Growing up in Africa, going back to England, being raised mostly with boarding schools and only having his friends, no real family. You can see why friendship was so important to him and why so many of his characters were orphans. And I'll say this, honestly, that was a worthy self-insert trait, the adoption and the orphaning. He does eventually, I think, get adopted, but the people who adopt him, like, they have, like, I guess it's that fashionable at that time, and also, like, I think they have children of their own. I don't know how much factors into this. He stays Catholic. I don't know if he was adopted by Catholics, but he stays Catholic, and it's like, I guess the only link he had with his family. In the Tolkien movie, it shows Tolkien getting trench fever, which really happened. And in the mind of Dom Karuski, and I don't know if this is written down somewhere. I didn't read it in Tolkien's letters that I saw. I didn't read all Tolkien's letters. They're not page turners, but they're fun. Nerdrotic has them memorized. I'll never have the kind of time on my hands it takes to be so bored that I would read Tolkien's letters and memorize them. They just a guy arguing with his editor. They're informative. I'm glad other people have written them so they can be annotated and turned into like the Encyclopedia of Arda when that would used to be good. Now it sucks. As far as Middle Earth, I mean, it's
ship out of danger.
You saved the ship. They saved the ship. Middle Earth has no problems. Middle Earth, that the only problem is they messed it up for the future. In fact, I'm just going to hack into the Amazon mainframe and just delete that computer.
59.
It happens. Did I miss any chats here or not give them full attention? Of all the franchises I've encountered most in all my travels, Star Trek is the most human. The Dead Man, you're right. Star Trek had the humanity, the friendship, the loyalty, the sacrifice, great performances, great humanity. We had a captain who was a flesh and blood captain in James T. Kirk. He was a two-fisted brawler who would, a man's man who would have a couple of drinks with his mates without ever getting messed up because I think control was Kirk's thing, right? And then he was a ladies' man, slaying them all across the galaxy, being like a super stud. He was a studly spaceman who we all aspired to. He seemed to be the coolest guy ever. I mean, he was the coolest guy in the world and the coolest guy in space. What's better than that? Sorry, guys. I'm just chugging a little bit of Gatorade. And wow, did I ever need that? I hope my voice sounds a little more luxurious. Pink, Stink, that whole thing. And by the way, I heard the new song by Pink. Pink stinks now, okay? You know what? I put 2 minutes in, and I was like too into Pink. This song stinks. I guess she's a great aerial dancer. All I know is once, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, there's a woman named Pink. She spelled the name with an exclamation point because it was the 20th century. I don't know. If I put P exclamation point, does her name come up? It does not. It does not autocomplete. So Pink, you know what? Maybe she tried to phase out the exclamation point. And whoa, Kirk is a star man warping through the sky. I wish that he'd face Kurtzman, but it hasn't crossed his mind. He's the star man. You know what, man? The Martian might be Ridley Scott's best movie. He stayed close enough to the book not to fuck it up, and it was like he had to stay with the hard science. I enjoyed that. Well, and how weird was it to see, Matt Damon playing two totally different spacemen in the same year. Talk about range and luck. He's in the movie that's supposed to be a blockbuster, Christopher Nolan's what was that stupid movie I hated, Interdimensional or whatever the fuck it was. I so hated that movie with Anne Hathaway, and it just sucked. It just sucked. And Jessica Chastain, it was terrible. Oh God, it was just, yeah. I thought it was interplanetary. Yeah, Interstellar was a terrible movie. The hard science and like to see Matt Damon in Starman, in The Martian, where he's fighting for life and he's got passion and he's dancing at disco and he's doing the Fonzie and he's like doing all these things to try to stay alive. And then to see him in Interstellar where he wanted to die and he didn't care anymore and he turned his like sleep canister into like a deletion booth. He was like, I was going to go in and not even set a wake up time. It's like, what does that mean? Oh my God, So thank you very much for the generous super chat. And I was a couple minutes behind on responding to the dead man. Poor form. I've done that twice to the dead man. Dead man, I'm sorry, sir. Sir, it's on me. I apologize again. I emailed you last time. Hopefully you're still here, sir. Sir, you're still here. I didn't lose. Did you? Did I lose your attention? Did I lose you there? I'm very sorry, dead man. It happens. I want to thank you for the generosity, though. You've been very cool. And guys, you know what? It has been a lot less shows this December. Like I said, taking care of all the work that it takes when you have some of the problems that I've been having. Just the tamper-proofing the streams. Just dealing with trying to keep the channel in one piece. September and October were a nightmare of work. It has left me kind of beat down. And then the holidays, like everyone else, this month has been the one that saw a lot less streams than other months. I wasn't on as much. I'm so sorry that I didn't get to your super chat for a couple minutes. You know what? If we all felt the same way, it wouldn't be cool. Right? It's cool that I like this movie. I don't like this movie and you do. I like that they go to a Yankee game in the movie. I like that they use that. I mean, maybe you could say it's a prequel to Planet of the Apes because it's turning into the topography of the first Planet of the Apes series, the good Planet of the Apes, the one that I liked. And that's, some good old fashioned like movie and TV making. What can I tell you? I also was so dyslexic today making my tags that I have to go back and add hashtags to them now on my actual show. I forgot to hashtag satire and sarcasm, two very important elements of every Admiral Teague show. These are not just reviews. These are sarcastic and satirical reviews, but they're also very much heartfelt. Interstellar was attempting to be hard science, yet still had a weird dream sequence with the bookshelf. While the bookshelf scene was well constructed and did carry emotion, the movie had slowed down and stalled out on me a couple of times before then. Also, I was not stoned enough for that story. It seemed like in the middle, this was my takeaway from the movie, honestly. In the middle of this movie, he broke up with Anne Hathaway. He didn't want to be around her anymore. He fucking really didn't like her, and he gave that character a fate that he was like, I don't know how far it got with the two of them. Like, maybe she didn't want to have this kid or something. It was like, fine, I'll strand you on a planet with 1 million babies. Like, I don't know what happened. I'm not saying I know what happened. I'm just saying something went wrong in the making of Interstellar, in my opinion. And it seems like they sort of like shortcut to the end. And like that ending for Anne Hathaway, it seems like the worst ending ever. You're never getting laid again. You're never going to have a peer again. You're going to be like some huge tribal leader. And what's going to happen? If you don't raise these kids right, they turn into Lord of the Flies and kill you. I endorse Gatorade. I've never had a sip of Powerade in my life. I refuse to compromise. I'll drink water or go without before I drink that Powerade. Also, I got the power. You guys are allowed to like Interstellar. I love Event Horizon. Are we all on the same page on that one? The bookshelf scene is a tesseract, and it represents a number theory called the concept called the Babylon Library. All right, I can disprove this one right now. Okay, the Babylon Library in Babylon, Long Island, is one of the smallest libraries in all of New York. And Babylon's a pretty big town, so they don't have an excuse for this one, okay? They have a radio station there. It's like the third biggest city on all of Long Island, and yet they do this to their library. So, you know what? There's no way that there could ever be a Tesseract in there because I found my way out. So it can't be from the Babylon, New York library. However, perhaps this is speaking of some sort of a theory that doesn't have to do with that particular physical location. So, yeah, no, I was actually aware that that was like hard science and it represented the theory. And they do extrapolate it into like a pretty like decent dream sequence. I don't have a problem with that. And I like that they dropped the hard science in. Although I would say it proves my rule. Movies with time travel, cool. Movies about time travel, oh, sir. I don't want to watch a movie about time travel, although I did think that that was just enough time travel in that movie to keep it from being totally shit, right? What was it? Every hour is 7 years, and they were down there, and like they lost like 21 years or something like that. And how did they not figure out that the planet had a massive tidal wave that was like flipping around it? I guess the deal was that kind of planet is possible if it's spinning fast enough and has enough water and is just the right size, I guess, right? But that was really weird. Like, I know that I'm not a scientist. Like, for instance, radioactive, when the oil comes out of the ground, is it hot or cold? I've always been curious about that. I feel like people judge Interstellar very harshly. The pacing was poor, thank you, yes. But there was plenty of great moments. Well, not that Yankee game. Those guys couldn't play baseball. Yeah, come on. I could be wrong about it. Here's the thing. The pacing took me out of it. The pacing took me way out of it. I like a faster paced movie than that. I'm willing to say that this was not a taste thing. There's enough quality there for me to say, like, it's not like a piece of garbage movie. And even like a lot of people criticize that last Dark Knight movie. And some people have joked that it's the worst Michael Caine movie. But that movie, on the momentum of the other two, is still good. It's not a bad movie to watch. It's really, really watchable. Interstellar is a better movie than it is watchable, if that makes sense. But yeah, I get them wrong once in a while. You know, you make opinions all the time. You're going to get some wrong. The clue is to, you know what? I see other YouTubers who make this mistake. The clue is that when someone is challenging your view, and this is one of the reasons why Germ is a great co-host. And Germ will be back. He has to like help out a friend who just the device is down, and when they get a new device, Germ will be back. So like maybe Gorilla can get a device soon, I hope, or a credit card comes in the mail and he can just buy one. So I can sometimes have Germ back here, but he'll be back. I didn't fire him or start a fight with him or yell at him. I had no problems with him. I have yelled at Germ, but like not to him. Like I'm sorry, but to him, not at him. I yell. I'm passionate. I raise my voice. You guys have heard me do it here all the time. It's different. It's not pejorative yelling. I'm not abusing people. I do not abuse people. If the Tachyon Pulse comes on here, he will not be abused. And if he can't answer the question, I'm not going to burn him at the stake, but he's not going to just be able to say, splunge or some other Monty Python punchline and get away with it. I'm going to say no. You got to explain this. Empress Sato made a storm happen the day after tomorrow. I didn't know the day after tomorrow was also a Nicholas Meyer film. I didn't know that. I just thought it was a really downer TV movie. Apparently, a little more famous and a little more well liked than I ever thought. What are you going to do? That's Nicholas Meyer for you. He's an entertaining writer and director, and I like Time After Time, and I like the 7% Solution. I honestly believe that those two stories together were why they gave him Star Trek, because neither of them have original characters, okay? Maybe he created some original characters for them, but the central characters in both of them are someone else's characters, or in the case of H.G. Wells, a historical figure, who I think is a character in some of his own books. I gotta admit, I didn't read a lot of H.G. Wells. Event Horizon is what Interstellar should have been if it was directed by John Carpenter. I would so fucking see that movie. I would own the 4K Blu-ray DVD, and I would watch it over and over and over. I would so love that movie, John Carpenter's Event Horizon sort of movie. Oh, man. I love Event Horizon. You know what? We can make a sequel to it. Lawrence Fishburne's still out there, so is Sam Neill. She made a storm happen, all right. Fap storm, perhaps? Admiral Teague, oil out of the ground is between 75 to 350 degrees Celsius, depending upon the depth. The deeper the oil, the hotter it typically is. 350 degrees? I guess if it really is a gusher, it cools down a lot before it hits you. But I mean, I want to see that. If I ever hit oil, it'd be like that. It'd be like, ow, 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 ow. It's like, Admiral Teague, New York businessman, was an M-Tech speculator. He struck oil at 200 million feet and was scalded to death as he became a millionaire. Like, that's how it would happen to me. Are you saying that the finale of Interstellar was the result of Loki stealing the Tesseract? That was a Dungeons and Dragons Tesseract, almost like beat for beat, man. Just go get Advanced Dungeons and Dragons and read about a Tesseract. I think they just stole that name, then like lifted that. Like, that's where that came from. I am so sure where that one entered like their minds. But here's the thing. Captain America, the First Avenger, is a Paramount movie. A Paramount movie. The MCU was started by Paramount. It was Paramount that did it when they were good, sirs and madams. I am wagging my finger not at you, but at the people at Paramount. It's impolite to point. I will reconfigure my hand to a more polite way of doing this. But yeah, you know what? Christmas, I'm thinking I'll hang out with you guys. But you know what? Yeah, I can't ever do it again. I'm just too old. I don't think I think I've done. If I find some 90s cocaine, maybe I'll do it. You know, maybe I'll do it like, you know, like Sean's uncle. We'll find out. Let's see. Don't throw those bloody spears at me. Okay. The Teague should pay. They're sharing copyrighted content. You know what? I thought I uploaded it to Rumble, but I can't find it. I think I'm going to upload one here. I had a video, and it was called Stop Sharing Copyrighted Material. And it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. It's just like, it's a late night Saving Star Trek riff that like some of you guys have come to know. And it's just JT and myself and Sean, and we're joking around about the copyrighted material. And it's like, that was the one was like, and you know what? When I was a kid, I said to myself, sir, because I call myself sir, I don't like the Moonlight comic book. I want it to fail. So what I did was I went and I made 1 million photocopies of it. And I said to my father, sir. And he said to me, sir, because my father called me sir, I want to go to the library and make 1 million copies of this Moon Knight comic book so I can put it out of business. And I time traveled forward as a child, and I went to the Dronix comic shop, and I gave them out there, and I messed him up too. That's because as a child, I bankrupted a business, and I got rid of Moon Knight. And when Moon Knight came back, I went to YouTube to announce, man, was that some terrible shit. The George Steinbrenner, he yells at his panels, fires them, then a bit later brings them back. No one, two people have been fired. 2 people have been fired. Not punitively. One punitively, one like they had different ideas and it was like more of a parting of the ways. I wouldn't call it a firing. One person, 2 people dropped out because one other person just didn't want to do it anymore. They've never been anything but nice to me. We parted on good terms, so I was happy about that. And we've had, really great. Hey, Crimlon is here. Crimlon, always look on the bright side of life. They say never whistle on mic. It sounds really bad, so I won't do any more. How is the oil that comes out of the patch? It's at 17,000 feet, the oil at the patch now. The original oil was at 4,000 feet. And that doesn't sound like a really good well at 4,000 feet. Like, I guess they could have gone deeper even back then. But now we can go down to 17,000 feet, which sounds pretty deep, going to be honest. I guess. I think that those would be very heavy rock. Much rock. Lots and lots of, like, more rock than, like, the AC/DC compilation record. Celsius? What is Celsius? You know what? It's a lie. It's a lie told to us by the snow Mexicans. Fact check. Nicholas Meyer directed the day after. And the day after tomorrow is Roland Emmerich. That's true. At this point, I'm going to float a theory. I like floating theories here. Something we do on my show. All right. Yeah, Crimlon. I like floating theories on my show because theories are fun. 2005 XL model, the Tesseract in Interstellar was a 2020 silver Tesseract with 4 thruster drive. Check the VIN to be sure. I'll check the tin, the Tesseract identification number. I got distracted by the bubes. I forget what I was saying. You know what? I've heard that James Gunn is going to make James Gunn's Batman by James Gunn. To this I say, I'm glad to see Pattinson, man, go. Pattinson, whatever. I didn't really overly dig that. And I'm glad to see good-looking but poorly used Zoe Kravitz go from being Catwoman, because that vision of Catwoman was horrible. That's what I want. A Catwoman with cigarette butts in her hair. And like gum. That's what I want. I want a Catwoman with those problems. That's my idea. That's my idea of sexy. Bedhead. Oh wow. Teague's show is the Czech version of the McLaughlin Group. I love the McLaughlin Group was on Independence Day. McLaughlin Group, I used to do some like wild going out when I was like in my 20s and stuff. And that's when I did do like regrettable things that I don't advise anyone to do. I don't think cocaine's good for anybody. It wasn't good for me, but I managed I dodged a couple of bullets, right? So anyway, you know what? The McLaughlin Group was a show that was on at like 11 o'clock in the morning. And I can't tell you how many times I'd come home, like stumble through the door on like a Sunday and watch the McLaughlin Group, especially after Pee-wee's Playhouse ended. But like, there's a lot of times where it was just like me and my girlfriend, like still wasted, doing all sorts of fun things with the McLaughlin Group on. And I think like one of their pundits used to be like Pat Buchanan, and he's like sitting there like, the problem in this country today is that the young people aren't serious. It's like, I'm seriously going to like have sex with you. But it was fun stuff, like being young. I would do it again. Being a vampire doesn't sound like the worst thing. I understand why people fixate on it now. I finally do. Sorry, I just wanted to mute the microphone there. This has a little buzzer that lets me know when it's ready. Let me turn off the window. Let me close the window while I use my CBD inhaler for a moment. And thank you, by the way, for the very generous $2 New Zealand super chat. I'm going to tell you something, the McLaughlin Group, that was some old school Republicanism. And I was like a wild kid going out doing drugs and partying. And I'd come home and like McLaughlin Group, was it the drugs? I don't know. But it was like some of this stuff sort of more or less makes sense. I don't object to any of that. And whereas today, I think most of every political idea now just sends me running away. I am so uninformed. You don't hear me talking much about Steinep's Pleasure Planet. I want the shuttle and transporter logs for that released, but Steinep's Pleasure Planet, everyone knows that, Kurtwood Smith, president of the Federation, probably did go there. And, that's the way that, Star Trek does politics and the way that we should probably do politics here, at least for the most part. And, really for the rest of the weekend, I don't inhale. I inhale, but I don't smoke. That's true. That is, I figured a workaround. They said to me, Sir, you can't smoke anything anymore. Combustion is terrible for you, sir. And I said, well, I'm going to not quit doing the things that I need because, I want to take my medicine and I want to also, have something to do to, relieve my tension because, hey, I don't really drink. So, you know what? The dry herb vaporizer is really good for your health and for your teeth. I advise everybody to consider dry herb vaping. Look at the facts on dry herb vaping versus combusting of cannabis. They'll be on your side. You know what? One story that is a little dark, but it's not so completely dark that scares me is, oh, hey, the dead man, thank you with the 99-cent super sticker. You contributing to the fight to save Star Trek has been a real help. All of you. I'm focusing right now on the dead man, though. The dead man, sir. Dead man, sir. I see in you another Star Trek pundit who believes in the joy of what Star Trek brings, and I like that you have the authenticity, go on there and play your guitar a little bit and have fun and you do a worthy Star Trek review and you have some serious thoughts in there and I've enjoyed it every time I've watched it. So you know what? Keep on keeping on with that and thank you. You know what? Our mission goes on, but let's face it. Look at some of the things we've accomplished. I got so badly mocked when fuck you, Krimwan. Krimwan is on the I don't know what to call the Paramount panel. Do we call it the Mountain Men? Unicorn. You know what? Before I got on the Unicorn. Krimwan. Before I was on the channel, before I started my stream tonight, I called up Stark of Iron. I called him up and I said to him, Sir, you've got to stop getting bigger than me. This is embarrassing. You'd be a lot happier if you don't disturb the natural order of things. And you know what he said to me? No, I'm going to try to pass you. And I couldn't believe that. JT with the $1.49 super sticker. Krimwan with the $1.49 super sticker. And we they're not the unicorn ones, but what the heck? Are they unicorns? Let me look. We have the unicorn, and we have pride, and we have poop. Hey, and Krimwan's buying Admiral Teague membership. All right, hey, thank you, buddy. Who got that one? Susan Dolan. All right, our friend Susan Dolan. Susan Dolan is one of Doomcock's mods, and she's one of the nicest people. Whenever I go to that chat, she puts a whole bunch of emojis in there and goes, Admiral's on the bridge, or Admiral Teague has entered the chat. It's such a nice greeting. She calls me Admiral. It's a sign of respect. You know what? I love it, and I think she's great. And I love it when she's here for our Star Trek watch-alongs. And I love when all of you bring me these little rainbows. You know what? Is there something appropriate? Since you've been gone, I'm out of my head, can't take it. All right. Oh, Krimwan with a massive dump of Saving Star Trek memberships. We have Alice of the Hole received a gift membership. Mike Demore 9259 at Shrubby1989. Welcome aboard, Shrubby. John the Beagle Dad and Reed by Nature. Welcome one and all. I haven't seen. Where is Reed? I don't see you, sir. It's good to see everyone, and thank you so much, Crimwan, for the generous gift of five Admiralty memberships. Yeah, that's cool. Membership, the membership's getting kind of low, but we still have a decent amount of people. It wasn't a big deal. I have been torn, and I have been doing a lot of damage control, a lot of customer service stuff, and other stuff like that. December was kind of, thank you, Crimwan, with the 99-cent super sticker. I appreciate it. This October was crazy. November and December, less so. Things getting better. There was a lot of time. There was a time sink and a lot of work going on. Also, like, it wasn't my health. It wasn't like my health crisis. It's like, the deal is, sirs and madams, the big, beautiful act and everything else. I don't know about the rest of you, but I got every single fucking thing done, okay? I am fully transitioned into a man now, sirs and madams. No, seriously, I got everything done that I could do now. And some of that involved, like, I had to get some dental work done right away. It was like, that cavity was so close to being unfucking fixable. Oh, hey, RRTNZ with a $5 New Zed with a super chat. Teague may have smoked, but he didn't inhale. But he did not have sexual relations with that Vulcan. Miss Blaylock. Absolute metaphysical certitude. You know what? I think we can wait 2 or 3 weeks, because when 1966's 60th anniversary comes in 2026, I want to start the year with The Cage. This controversial episode referenced and discussed so many times on this channel. We will watch The Cage, not because it is Star Trek, but because it is a story about Star Trek characters with some of them in it. I do not think that The Cage is Star Trek. You know, I'll just tell you right here. If I was, the dead man, I will be right there. Hold on. You know what? The Cage. Here's the thing. At the end of The Cage, Captain Pike doesn't solve his own problem. A woman solves his problem for him. Like, if you wanted to make a show off The Cage, you got one. It's called Strange New Worlds, right? Women solve all the problems for that captain, too. Now, this was a little different. This was like a lone, exceptional woman, not like a bunch of women bailing him out, but... So they could say there's precedent in that. They shortcut the ending of The Cage. That ending sucks. Okay. Also, like, they say to him, oh, we just realized that keeping you captive is wrong. We'll let you go. Said the people who kidnapped you, and the people who held you captive and tortured you, and the people who, like, wanted you to, like, make prawn for them. They wanted to, like, welcome to Planet OnlyFans. May your way be as pleasant. I mean, what the hell was with those freaky little, like, women men with the pulsating skulls? They look so alien. The aliens are great. Everything about The Cage. There's a lot of great shit about The Cage. Their planet, fucking great. Everything about it, great aliens. Everything like that. My problem is this. Captain Kirk would have been like, you're darn right we have a built-in hatred of captivity. And you know what? I think that freaky Birdman in the menagerie has it too, sir. I think you should let him go. And the dead man with $4.99 super chat says, Teague, I need the Christian Bale. Oh, good for you clip. I have to find one. I don't have I'm very short on Christian Bale clips. But have you ever noticed earlier in his career it was more pronounced? When Christian Bale turns profile, he looks like Tom Cruise. His face. He has similar features to Tom Cruise. Although I guess Christian Bale's like 6 foot? Who knows? We'll find out. I do think that Christian Bale is a really good actor. He's kind of got like one thing in common with Nicolas Cage. Both of them like are really breathy. Like he's like, like when he's climbing out of that like pit and like in the last Batman movie. He's like really like a lot of guttural noises and stuff like that. And he is a good actor, though. I'll give it to him. Oh, good for you. Is that? I'll have to Google the clip. I promise to Google the clip so I can find it. The Cage is not canon. That's right. And here's the thing: people have said the Cage is Star Trek. I'm saying Captain Kirk doesn't leave behind the freaky Birdman and the other people in the menagerie. Captain Kirk rescues them. And Dead Man, thank you very much. And let me jump down to Radioactive, who says the Cage is the events as they happened. The menagerie are the events as they were remembered. Or is it the other way around? Because Spock has emotions in the menagerie to a greater extent than he does in the emotions in the menagerie in the Cage to a greater extent than he does in the menagerie. Almost, 3 instances of emotion: shouting in excitement, smiling and laughing, and shouting in anger when the phase cannon doesn't work. And by the way, did Star Trek do it first? That is one thing I'll say. That cannon that they're firing, that is exactly the same thing as The Last Jedi, which is, 9 years ago this week, and The Force Awakens is 10 years ago this week. And I watched Mahler's video. It was great. I thought it was a great part 5. Congratulations, Mahler. And everyone's thanking him for the Super Cat. The Cage is the events as it happen. You know what? How about this one? Let's use technology and get the Cage with Nicolas Cage as Captain Pike. This looks like where I grew up. That's my horse. Bojack, come here, man. Holy shit. Oh, wow. Like, that would be, oh, God, oh, man. Oh, God, oh, man, oh, God. Critical Drinker, thank you for finding whatever that terrible Ryan O'Neal movie is. I have said all my life that the worst actor ever is fucking Ryan O'Neal. Ryan O'Neal is the worst actor ever. I was so bummed out when he was on that show Bones, because I liked Bones. I wanted to bone Bones. I like Emily Deschanel. In a world of Emily and Zoe's, I'm more of an Emily. Although I guess I have the heart of a Zoe. What can I tell you? But like, my preference would be to do, well, let's face it. I'm not throwing either of them out of bed, but like I felt like Emily Deschanel looked like a little like Linda Carter. And she had such a great body. Christian Bale lacks the weirdo Scientology look of Tom Cruise. You know what? They sue a lot of people, but I'll just go out there and say it. Yeah, they are weird. Guys, if you're watching on the vertical stream, the landscape stream is pinned to the top. You can escape commercials and enjoy the stream in full quality there. And hey, if you haven't joined my channel, now's a great time. I am making an unprecedented offer to you. Join my channel. And be with me as we make it to 10,000 subs. We're going to try to make it to 10,000 by the end of the year. We have a goal of having a voice in the future of Star Trek. Fans saved Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine wasn't bad. But they said, sirs, madams, to DC Fontana. Sirs and madams, you need to, give this show more characters. You need to give them a ship. We have to see him called Captain Sisko. And you know what? They listened in season 3. We got a ship and we got some characters. I don't want to criticize Terry Farrell because no one that good looking should be criticized, but her acting's not so great for season 1. I think they didn't give her a lot to work with. They changed the direction of the character in season 2 as well. So she spends a lot of time, like she gets an idea of what she wants to do, and then like they kind of take that away from her. It was a really rough experience for her to get that character down. And then when she's like knocking it out of the park, she's great. But it takes her a while to really get her feet under her. A reasonable facsimile of Terry Farrell. I'd like that. Or Nicolas Cage in the Cage. That would be great too. How great will it be when Neural Derp gets here? I told Neural Derp, since you go viral, and Michael Sussman, sir, you can thank me later. I was talking to Neural Derp. They did Hillbilly Star Trek. Okay, they did Star Trek Vietnam. They're doing now Cowboy TNG, I think it is. And I said to them, did you know, sir, or madam, because I don't know the gender yet of that YouTuber, did you know that the most streamed show on Paramount Plus for Star Trek is actually season 1 of Enterprise, sir, or madam? And they said, I didn't know that. And I said, did you know about the United thing? And they're like, what? And I'm like, so I brought them up to speed because I think they'd heard of it, but I brought them up to speed and I got them excited about it. And I said, have you considered making a fan upload of your high quality CGI that was Enterprise and United specific? Because that would go super duper viral. And I think, and this is my belief, I believe Paramount would gas that one. I believe that Paramount would call up YouTube and be like, we like this interest in Enterprise. And a viral Enterprise video, if it does a couple of million views like his other videos, yeah, throw in some other Star Trek people to keep people coming back, but have like Archer in there. There were not any Enterprise people that I remember from any of his other stuff, like Trip, Florida Man, and all that stuff. This guy knows his Star Trek. He could make a great video. So part of the Star Trek conversation from the fan end already. The biggest, most viral Star Trek video maker right now, aside from Disparu, and it's a different style of video and a totally different thing, is Neural Derp. Neural Derp got millions of views. So if we're going to set Neural Derp up and help have a chance to talk to them, the conversation with Neural Derp is, Neural Derp, sir or madam, please, sir or madam, consider perhaps an Enterprise video. So the wheels were turning for Neural Derp. So I thought that was pretty cool. Lieutenant Spock is a young single officer with a 23rd century Corvette. In the menagerie, Lieutenant Commander Spock is a bitter man with an impending divorce who's about to be fleeced. That's true. It's true. Also, like, it messes with Spock's time frame. Like, Zachary Quinto Spock can't be Cage Spock because Zachary Quinto Spock seems to be younger. Maybe, though. Who knows? I'll have to think more on that Kelvin shit. Actually, I guess it could work out. Their Captain Pike was nothing like Jeffrey Hunter. Sorry, mate, I can't handle a series where Sydney Sweeney is responsible for interstellar war, cultural devastation of pre-warp worlds, and the loss of most of her own crew. I would like to see a Star Trek show starring Sydney Sweeney as like one of the crew. She could be like the communications officer or even the weapons officer. I don't care. She could go on away mission. Sydney Sweeney does martial arts to stay in shape. She could probably do some pretty impressive stuff. Just don't let her get hurt. She's too fucking hot. Okay. Christian Bale is what Tom Cruise could have been if he'd been fathered by Gary Oldman. I think Tom is older. But Gary Oldman, I think that it's nice that he is finally appropriate to his name. In Air Force Young, I'm like, if Air Force One, I'm like, this is like, you know, a young guy. Like, his name doesn't fit. It doesn't work. Like, you know, it doesn't match. And then, you know, recently I saw Sean Young and I was like, man, she got old. So, like, Gary Oldman had the opposite problem. It was like, young, his name was a problem. But now it fits perfectly. Gary Very Oldman. Hey, I see a bunch of people jumped on the vertical stream. There are no ads, and it's pinned to the top of the stream on the landscape stream. Jump over there, guys. You'll like it. And try the veal. Come on over. You'll love it there. The landscape stream is where it's at, sirs and madams. What can I tell you? But I thank all of you for being here, and let's see what we got here. As Spock, Leonard Nimoy is more quintessential than Quinto, and a hell of a lot more than a peck of Ethan. Ethan Peck was like all right when we saw him outside of the role, but yeah, like he's not allowed to do anything good with Spock, and I feel bad for him that this is like about his most notable role. He actually was like, he's the grandson of Gregory Peck, and I wish him all the best. I really do. I just can't believe that he went through the kind of embarrassment he had to go through. If you watch season 1, it's not great, but the actors haven't figured out the show sucks yet. His performance in piece of shit episode Ghosts of Illyria, if they had allowed the show to be good, he might have done something. But they forced him to debase Spock. And I think he had, Germ says that he's like probably number 3 on the totem pole there and has some amount of ability to affect the outcome of what goes on at Paramount. So, like, or at least at Star Trek. And he's like, I'm not making an asshole of myself anymore this year. I'm not doing it. Fuck you, Kurtzman. And so my theory is different. My theory is that AI wrote most of this season and didn't find Spock appropriate for it, or he makes more money. Germ and I overlap on the maybe he makes more money thing. But this year in Strange New Worlds, there wasn't a lot of Spock being a jackass. Spock was removed from a lot of the stories, and Spock was like, fascinating. I mean, it was dog shit what was going on, but like Ethan Peck tried. I feel bad for him. I don't think he enjoyed it. I feel bad for the guy who plays Captain Kirk. That was such a bad takedown of a legendary actor. I think that they probably hurt that actor's career. Although Mr. Shatner doesn't seem like he would ever, ever, ever be vengeful. And he's got a birthday that's not too far off, a few more weeks. But Leonard Nimoy is Spock. Come on. Zachary Quinto in a better movie, I would have accepted him. I felt like in the third movie, he was good as the character because the characters were correct. That movie sucked. But watch it and watch the characters. They break up Sulu. The Sulu part was the worst. Okay, that sucked. But they break up Spock and Uhura, so that's good. They get them on their own. They get rid of the Super Uhura thing too. She does the job that the fourth in command should do. She is like trying to rally keep the spirits up of the people who are trapped by Idris Elba and that stupid fucking monster that he is, and that stupid fucking weapon that he has. And by the way, that's the chick from the hunting party who has that weird like crab head. That's the chick from the hunting party, the TV show. She's in Star Trek Beyond. I was trying to figure out if the hunting party was like JJ affiliated because it was so like the backstory is so JJ like. They overhyped her too much. Like the time frame, the hunting party's not a bad show, but like they should stop talking about her backstory. The exceptional, can't live without her, brought back to the FBI because she's so amazeballs. 28-year-old burned out rebel who was the best profile ever. That must have been a hell of a 6 months after Quantico before she burned out, huh? Why would you ever bring back someone who fucked up that bad? At the age of like 40 to 50, you're starting to do serious profiling and lead profiling teams and be like, field field office agent, FSAs or whatever they're called, field supervisory agents. Before that, like she's still not old enough to have the job that she said to have burned out from being the bestest ever at. So crazy stuff with that one. Beyond is the most forgettable film I've ever seen. 5 minutes out of the cinema and I forgot the whole thing. When George Takei complains that you made a character Kahei, it's crap. It is crap. And the story sucks. All I'm saying is this. There's reasons the stories are terrible. The development held by the drinker touches on some of it, but it goes even further than that. They mashed together a TV show. They didn't have money. They had given out TV contracts. I don't know if these are supposed to be Kurtzman shows. They're going for the Enterprise era, and we got them out of it, which means we wouldn't have gotten Star Trek United unless Beyond went down the way it did. So maybe it's a gift now because it took them out of that era and got them away from focusing on that. They used their TV show props for the movie. That's what it was. They went to a planet, but it was by mistake. but they spent a lot of the movie on the planet. Just in the sense of the idea of Star Trek, that is better. Now that stupid fucking base fight that they have in the air, slipstreaming around, almost cool. The thing is, it's so much cooler than Girl Boss Uhura phasing Khan over and over and over and over while Spock gives him the Vulcan grip, nerve pinch, whatever. And then finally, like, subduing him. That was some bullshit. Okay, that was some bullshit. In Beyond, it was also bullshit, and they played Sabotage yet again. I hate it, but at least they played Public Enemy 2 because I love Public Enemy. Because we were stuck with it with those iterations. This is my only point. They break up Spock and Uhura. It's not a movie about Uhura and her weird friends for the first time. If Beyond had been the first movie from the reboot, I would have been like, it's not a good movie, but like the characters were right. No mental breakdown from Spock at all. He shouts in a little bit of pain, but it was like super excruciating pain, and we don't know how trained that version of Spock is in logic, you know what I mean? Maybe he doesn't have like, total Ponfar stuff going on, total Kolinar stuff going on, but whatever, like that's when he gets cauterized. In the other movies, he has like 2 breakdowns in each movie. At the end of Wrath of Khan, he's like, Khan! He's like Kermit the Frog. He's running around the plot. I mean, it was so fucking dumb. And Zachary Quinto has succeeded in everything else he's done. Zachary Quinto was great in American Horror Story with seasons that were good when he was allowed to be good. When the show was bad, he was still good, but the show wasn't as good. Zachary Quinto's got a new show that's a hit because he's a very good actor. Zachary Quinto was good in Heroes because with Ali Larder from Landman. See how everything comes together? We'll watch Heroes for the member stream, right? We got 2 things I love in one in Heroes. I forgot. I only made that connection now. But you know what? We got Landman, we got Heroes. And then RRTNZ says, Beyond is terrible on every level. Only a total stranger will take you to... okay, total stranger. We'll take you to this uncharted planet. On the basis of, trust me, bro, there's no way it can be a trap. The Enterprise was, destroyed in a novel way, though. I thought that the Swarm was an interesting attack. Was it stolen from a video game, perhaps? I don't know. I didn't think it was a good movie. I'm agreeing with everything you're saying. What I'm saying is, Kirk, brave. Chekhov, looking up to Kirk. Sulu, they fucked that one up. But he's not in that movie a lot. Uhura was acting like the Uhura we knew. Okay? Uhura was acting like the Uhura we knew. And by the way, that was Kurtzman and JJ that forced that fucking bullshit in there. And I know George Sakai hated it. That was the last time he was cool on social media. So tell you what, I'm about to say goodnight. I love that you guys were here. I didn't touch on Landman, and maybe I should real quick before I go. You know what? Let's give it 10 more minutes. Landman check. Landman, we're at mid-season. The last episode was slow and a little bit long. It wasn't badly paced, but it was slow. It was a different episode, unlike the other ones that we've seen. And there was a lot of exposition and stakes for the next season being set up in the episode we saw. It was fun to watch. I didn't have a problem with it, but it was slow and it was weird. And it had been recut really, really strangely. Somebody went off on the movie with... they could have combined 2 episodes together, or they could have needed to drop a storyline. Rebecca is at the pirate dinner at the end, and for the pirate dinner to be the name of the episode and only be in it for a couple of seconds. She's at the pirate dinner at the end, but then we don't see her again at the table when everyone's talking. So I think maybe either they couldn't get her back and had to fix something, or she was there with that guy she met last week and it didn't work out, or she was an asshole and they didn't want that because they got kind of called out for all the women characters being super mean all the time. this was not that valid of a criticism because a lot of them like were funny. And the other thing is this: show me the admirable male character. Who's the admirable male character? Tommy is an asshole. Barney, because we got Ariana. I guess she's not that admirable, but I mean, you got Barney, right? Beyond is, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You're right. You're right. The thing is, Howard the Duck making a remake starring former Star Trek actor Quackery Zinto. If I ever see him around the city, I'm calling him Quackery Zinto from now on. Now, if I ever see him in the city, I'm gonna accidentally mess up and call him Quackery Zinto. Oh my God, that is too funny. He is a good actor, though. He's a really good actor. Anyway, Landman episode 5 seem to be getting ready and loading up for episode 6 as far as a punch goes. Hey, Germ, sir, hello. I'm just getting ready to bring down the curtain on tonight's event. You're here just in time, although next week we may go a little later. How was it over at Gorillas? What did you guys watch tonight? Guys, Gorillas Random Thoughts is a YouTuber who is also a gorilla. It is one of the most simian things you've ever seen. You can go over there, and there's a guy there who's trying to finish as well. And Germ, sub that channel, Gorillas Random Thoughts. Germ, please put the link in the chat for Gorilla so that people will know about this high-quality program. Guys, I think that Landman in the second half of the season, if they maintain the stakes and attention, we got 5 episodes of this. Potentially, we may have lost an episode in the attempt to save episode 5 because they changed its character. Are they refilming now? Not totally positive. Maybe some pickups. Taylor Sheridan may not have done any more filming with 1923, but the cast had been released a lot longer in the future. Also, get this, Michelle Randolph dating, and man, I saw them standing next to each other. She is so tiny and so petite. Michelle Randolph's dating Glenn Powell. I saw pictures of them together. Let me see if I can find it. Glenn Powell's just like, he's like designated hitter. Didn't he get Sydney Sweeney too? Was he the kid in Spy Kids? Why does he come up under Spy Kids? Are they remaking that too? Here we go. Let's see if I can find a picture of them together before we go. They are like the hot couple in Hollywood right now. Everyone's talking about it. Finally, her star's lighting up because she dated someone. I don't know what that means. It's kind of a bummer because she is really talented. And with all that training from Helen Mirren and, you know, being around Harrison Ford and stuff, gotta help her. This is the picture I saw. I saw one that was from even further back. She is a rail. She is a rail. Darn. Let's find the picture. There's a lot of pictures out there of them. There was one really good one. A lot of the other ones, they're just like waving to the paparazzi. They kind of want to be seen. They're not hiding. They're not shy about going out together. I think they look cute together. She looks diminutive next to him. I'm trying to find a picture. I guess she's pumped up on heels here. Maybe she's like grabbed his back and pulled herself up. She looks a little taller here. Damn. It's some fucking video. So I have to go and like just use the results screen. Sorry, guys. I'll get the picture as large as I can. Glenn Powell and Michelle Randolph, sirs and madams. Sorry, I can't do better. Let's see if I can find a better picture of them. Oh, here's the picture. Instagram. Fuck no. I don't go into Instagram. I don't believe in like that's oh okay. It did spool up on its own though. Okay, so here's the picture I saw, and you can see how thin she is. Unless she's wearing a dress that's white in the middle. Now that I'm looking at it again, I'm going to show you the picture. Here we go. Michelle Randolph and Glenn Powell, ladies and gentlemen. Courtesy of the Instagrams. Thank you, Instagram. You are so kind. Kind indeed and benevolent. I thank you so much, Instagram. And I thank all of you. So here we go. As you can see, she is tiny. Check out my pal Gorilla's Random Thoughts show. He's a good dude. You'll like him. Alright, finish. Neil is a redeemable male character. Neil's okay, but the thing is, Neil is he's sufficiently nice that he's getting dead named, right? And also, like, the show's point of view kind of is that it's okay to be a little mean to Neil after the last episode. And also, in the last episode, Neil, or Nate, his real name is Nathan, fucking drops the ball, and he does not good at his own purview. So it's a bit of a problem. FYI, Seahawks win. Cool. Best record in the NFL as a Jets fan. I know you'll appreciate that. I do, and I congratulate you, and I'm so happy for the Seahawks. Congratulations. I hope they win this Super Bowl. I really honestly do from the bottom of my heart. And that's the only time I'm going to say it. And now I'm going to troll you till the end of their run in the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, first, I just want to say I remember seeing them with, like, was it Matt Hasselbeck? And playing the New York Jets. And they had those highlighter uniforms. Oh, I hated those. But you know what? Go Seahawks. I'm happy for my co-host, Jerm. He's a great guy. And I'm happy that all of you are here. I'm thinking about joining you guys tomorrow afternoon. If I don't go on with some of my Brit friends, they're doing some stuff. Maybe I go there. But it looks like that panel kind of filled right up. And it's got some great people on it. And maybe, like, it's about Admiral Teague getting some more watch hours. And you know what? Building a sense of community. After a bunch of missed Tuesdays in a row, I just have missed so many Tuesdays. I'm getting ready to get back on my feet. I'm shaking off some of these holiday blues. I'm sorry. It's been a blue Christmas for me. It's ending off better than it began, so do not worry about the Admiral. I'm doing good, and I'm really happy for all of you. But yeah, December was a rough month. I'm sorry, guys. It really just, until the last couple of days, pretty rough. And some scumbag, like, stiffed my company, and I didn't get my check. So, Merry fucking Christmas, huh? Thanks a lot, guy. Cooper is a decent guy. What's weird is that Colm Fiore, who plays Nate, is actually 3 years younger than Billy Bob. Yeah, I can believe it. And he's from another show. He played a bad guy in something else. He's a good actor. He's got range. Cooper is redeemable, is a decent guy, but in episode 5, he was portrayed as so dumb. So dumb. We kept it to an hour, 55 minutes on the Yellowstone review, on the Landman review show this week. We really did what I thought was an outstanding job. I was proud of my whole panel. Everyone went the extra mile. You can't ask for the kind of dedication and friendship that my panelists have showed me, both in the Star Trek and the Landman panel. I extend to everyone a very happy holiday season. On Christmas, I'll say Merry Christmas. I'm not against Christmas. We have, Boxing Day for the Brits coming up after Christmas. We have, I believe, Canadian Thanksgiving because of the metric system is tomorrow. They do it on a Friday, but it's Thursday for them. I think it's November in Canada still. And also, thank you, Canada, our second biggest viewing country. Huge spike in Canadian viewing in the last couple of months. Very controversial, sirs and madams. But, okay, so there they are, Glenn Powell and Michelle Randolph, the happy, good-looking couple. The word good-looking coming out of my mouth while that big, ugly gob was up there. Wow, what a terrible thing to do to everybody, huh? That's what we call, irony. Irony. Tuesday's Gone with the Wind. Goodbye, Ruby Tuesday. The Rolling Stones canceled their tour today, and I want to end the show by saying another person I've always been a huge fan of is Keith Richards. I love Mick and Keith. I feel they needed each other to be as great as they were. The last time one of the greatest rock and roll songs ever written is one of the first songs they ever wrote. I was sad to hear that Keith said he didn't feel like touring. He wasn't up to it. I hope there'll be another Rolling Stones tour. I hope they come back to America. But as I said to my nephew, I'm glad that I took you to this show because I don't think there'll be another tour. And Keith, by the way, he lives in the New York area. Keith Richards lives in the New York area. He now lives in, I believe it's Connecticut. He lives near Mark D with the C. Everyone knows Keith in the town, too. It's like a really exclusive, Connecticut suburb. It's not far from Chappaqua, New York. Like, all those places, like Sleepy Hollow, Chappaqua. Sleepy Hollow's a dump, too. Sleepy Hollow and Chappaqua are right next to each other, but it's like a mountainous terrain. You can kind of, keep there's not a lot of foot traffic. You can keep the undesirables out of your wealthy town. But Sleepy Hollow is very close to New York City, sirs and madams. Denzel Washington and P. Diddy from Sleepy Hollow. But you know what? Our Sean Carter, who is a better Sean Carter, will be back with us on Sunday, as will JT, as will Germ. It's good to see all my friends in the chat. I love you guys. And happy birthday to Keith Richards, 82 years old. I have a quote from Keith before I close the show. It goes like this. I've had 3 different doctors tell me that if I don't stop living this way, I'll drop dead tomorrow. I buried them all. All right, everybody, you know her, you love her. She's here to dance for you. And you know what? We'll deal with closing out the old year and everything later. We have more time for that. I'm not going on vacation. I'll be back. And you know what?
Carthaginians defending the city were attacked by 3 Roman legions.
We're getting ready for Saturnalia and Christmas. We can celebrate both. It'll be fun. Anyway, I love you all. You know her. You love her. She is so gorgeous. Now watch the views go up. What will we do for some time with Sydney Sweeney?
We will win. We will win.
Fuck you. No. Just stay away from Sydney Sweeney, Chuck. You're going to turn her off to dudes. You know what? If I was with Sydney Sweeney, there's one thing I'll tell you.
The word decent doesn't apply to me.
And I would do every single messed up thing to her.
Because I can.
Incoming Sydney Sweeney video. Set boners to full. Lubrication supply sufficient for projected fapping level. Paper towels to standby. Turbo lift door secured and locked. Wives and girlfriend interruption probability at 12%. You may commence masturbatory actions at any time.
Can I finish? You guys are awesome. You've been an awesome audience. I turn you loose now. Go at peace. Have a good time. If you're not back before Christmas, I love you. If you're listening later, I love you as well. You know what? Do yourself a favor and do me a favor. Try to get this one up to 20 likes. I'd love to get 20 likes. We got 16. Oh, that's awesome. It's still more than I could ask for. You guys are the best. All right, you waited long enough. You get to see her. Here she is, Sydney Sweeney.